The next reconnaissance and footprinting exercise I want to look at is what we refer to as banner grabbing. Now, a banner is nothing more than a header returned by the server that explains what the application is actually running. So what sort of web server might it be running on? What sort of web framework could it be using? It's pretty fundamental information, and there are a number of different ways of getting these banners, not least of which is using the developer tools in your favorite browser and then using the network request tool to look at the headers in the response. But I want to show you another way. I want to just run a wget. And a wget is no more than a command that allows you to make HTTP requests. You could use something like curl to do the same thing. The reason I'm using wget from the command line though is to try and keep the browser out of the picture, to show you that this is just an HTTP request. So here's what we're going to run. Wget, we're going to use the server response switch in order to get the headers, and then here is the URL of our website. Let's run that. We can see the request going out, and now we have the response. And here are those server response headers. These are the bits of real interest though, and it's the server, which we can see is running on IIS 8.0. It's the ASP.NET MVC version, so that's the Model View Controller implementation from Microsoft. That's running on 5.1. The ASP.NET version that it's using is 4.0, and we've also got a lot of fidelity in the version after that, and it is running on ASP.NET. And this is just simple banner grabbing, figuring out what the application runs on. The reason why this is useful is that subsequent attacks that we mount against the system can now be targeted to ASP.NET, and in particular that version of ASP.NET and that version of ASP.NET MVC. So this helps you, as an ethical hacker, narrow down your focus, and in a case like this, probably not worry too much about the typical PHP attacks, and instead focus on the ones that might specifically target Microsoft's framework. So that's banner grabbing with Wget. Let's now move on and start to take a look at some server fingerprinting.